Damu in Amasia, trying common so and say, Mamma say, we promise that Ebenya Ghana's minority leader in parliament in the Atwitwen Komo. Production more available with his new title and picture. I'm waiting me with that, or sign any picture if you have it. Waiting me boy. But on Mother's Day is just around the corner. I'll tell you much about that. You need to celebrate Omame in a very special, unique day. A safari day out with your mom, Shisheno. Multimedia Jumekono Ekan was a medical. Nami Adoma, Memen, the 10th of May, 2025, Anopanon Dukopim, and Yumreno in Sia, Shishene said Joy FM, and a Safari Valley Eco Park, Mausa Kwenya way. Once in the yellow moon be, you get out of the normal things and do abnormal things. Indeed, almost say, Kona ko celebrate to Mami, or Quanstrom Kusukra, and they package in a fekeke, lunch buffet or live band, and have a beyond quadribit media graduate money, and in your mabibria, a kikakika home. Remember, 10th of May, Mother's Day 11th, and my fee, in the 10th of May, time near 10 to 6 p.m. She say, Mpensenpensenmu nipa baako biya 950 Ghana cedi. Na fe in between teenagers nso no 659 kwadaa no kwa no aye 450 per head. One ede hyehyɛ gu akwam ti ehyan be free Joy FM ha na ede wakɔ saa bia ho a ye kan wasem. So when you say we are part of this safari day out with your mom, first number is 059 3038 842 059 3038 842. No wait no in kita ho. Ebia na opese oto ho asi so a. Staff number is 0302 216 540 0554 594 727. Registration no a close to 12 noon on Friday, May 9. Osahina kwaba.
Eja. Wapom today.
Oh, nyame adom.
Good.
I think that you have this release here, and we are jumping straight into it before other matters will come up. It's signed Osahene Alexander Afenyo Markin. And I tell you for make your indulgence a quick one. Incident at Parliament House during the Save the Judiciary demonstration. I write to strongly condemn the reprehensible and disgraceful act of violence perpetrated against me by a uniformed police officer, Constable Forson, at the entrance of Parliament House during today's peaceful and highly successful Save the Judiciary demonstration. As the leader of the demonstration, I led the protesters together with the leadership of other political parties to Parliament, one of the designated stops on our route, to formally present our petition. Earlier, we had delivered copies to the Supreme Court, and from Parliament, we were to proceed to the Jubilee House. Upon our arrival at Parliament House, the national organizer and other party leaders had already been granted access. The Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Patricia Piaji, and I were then invited by the party's Communications Director, Mr. Richard Ahiagba, to proceed and join them. As I approached the barricade, without any provocation, a uniformed police officer stationed behind the barricade, Constable Forson, a tall, fair, heavily built officer, deliberately struck the left side of my chest with the full force of his right palm, directly near my heart. The impact of the hit dazed me, and I was visibly shaken and short of breath. In that moment, I spontaneously protested his conduct, asking why he would seek to harm me. The inspector, who was facilitating my access, along with other officers, quickly intervened and assisted me into the restricted area, where I had to lean against the wall at the entrance of Parliament House to prevent myself from collapsing. A national service personnel from Parliament, whom I know, approached and offered me water. 2 CID officers from Parliament also came to check on me and assisted me to the nearby security restroom, where I laid down on bench to stabilize. Mr. Richard Ahiagba, Mr. Henry Nanabuachi, and the MPP Greater Accra regional organizer stayed by my side throughout, providing support and ensuring my well-being. After regaining some composure, I was helped to the washroom to wash my face, and though still unwell, I made a deliberate effort to compose myself, calm myself down, and rejoin the leadership of the delegation to present the petition, determined not to let the incident create a scene or derail the purpose of our peaceful protest. Following the presentation of the petition, senior police officers and the Deputy Marshal of Parliament attempted to locate the officer involved, but he had mysteriously disappeared from the scene. It is suspected that he may have been discreetly removed to prevent further attention and avoid scrutiny. Had this act of aggression become widely known in that moment, it could have compromised the peaceful character of the entire demonstration. What makes this assault particularly egregious is the officer was being openly reprimanded by his superiors and fellow officers at the time, who cautioned him against his conduct. Yet, he defiantly responded that he didn't care who I was, leader or not, and that he would carry out his work regardless. It was a deliberate, reckless, and targeted attack by an officer who clearly knew my identity and close to physically assault me in broad daylight in the full view of his senior colleagues. It is therefore most unfortunate that some individuals who would seek to twist the narrative and suggest that I was the aggressor when I was merely protesting the officer's conduct. This unprovoked, disrespectful, and shameful attack is a stain on the professionalism of the Ghana Police Service. Throughout the demonstration, the conduct of officers at the Supreme Court and the Jubilee House was commendable, professional, and respectful. Some were even sharing water for demonstrators, a testament to the discipline and decorum expected of public officers. What occurred at Parliament was an embarrassing and dangerous departure from this standard, and it is unacceptable. Accordingly, I am formally filing a petition to the Inspector General of Police to demand a full investigation into the conduct of Constable Forson. There were numerous senior police officers who witnessed the appalling conduct of the constables firsthand and can corroborate the events. I have always respected and worked cordially with the Ghana Police Service and hold our law enforcement institutions in the highest regard. This incident is a disgrace to the standards and professionalism expected of those tasked with protecting citizens as such. It must be treated with the contempt it deserves. It is evident that elements within the NDC's propaganda machinery are now weaponizing this incident to deflect attention from the overwhelming success and peaceful conduct of our demonstration. Their aim is clear: to distort the narrative and shift focus away from the core constitutional concerns we raised. We must not be distracted from the purpose of the demonstration. We must to defend the Constitution and the independence of the judiciary, principles that must be protected at all costs. In light of these facts, I urge all media outlets and the general public to refrain from spreading misleading narratives and to join me in condemning the unprofessional and disrespectful actions of Constable Forson. Signed, Osahene Alexander Afenyo Markin. On this very rough note, once again, Memo Akwaba. So you've captured it and you've been invited.
Oh, that's okay. It's good. I mean, but it can police phone statements, you know. Better ibisa. On questions be. Police say, viral video.
Yeah.
And then they don't even talk about the one paying our parliament in Umpo. I report among. But they also state that they will investigate the officer. So I think it's a balanced statement. And we say we are a country of rule of law. And that I also petitioned the IGP. I sent a petition man and that. And I've made that available to the media. But on Nancy, I've been preaching against retaliatory politics. And the fact that oyena power, oba, the way they behave as politicians, where sometimes we feel that power Zaye Peneye. And it does also, you know, I realized that Nyankopon was putting me to test. It was
How?
okay. Because I'm preaching against retaliation. I'm preaching against vengeance. I'm preaching forgiveness and unity. That the politics must be more decent and we must come to the center. Then this thing happened. A constable, sebi, a brente no, women age man beyond 30. And yan soze pretending that sebi. Onyim here. Ni penny jenenim. Na ototo no nse ntimi hye da hwe da awahama won hu da onyihwe. Na me hwe ni name tag no hu da watch of force. Oh. And I asked myself there, no be leaders, more police paying also leaders should enter to present the petition. And there was an inspector, ojina me left, we boy, and ojina barricade nature. Then Honorable Patrick Boama, now Honorable Kennedy Osenyakon, they were entering from our right. Into many deputy minority leader, Okamu was Mitchell, because throughout the demo, and then they entered. What enter now? Then the guy from nowhere, what enter Ameriba, because they had entered. Then I was using and say, and hit me hard. And he aimed at my heart. Okay, he aimed at it. He just hit me like, young man, why do you want to kill me? Have I done anything to you? I was like, And in there, Michelle, or goggles, onwazo, and I had an efesum. It's unfortunate how some public officers sometimes, when you subend and you're careful, now also quote unquote, I catch on there, Sabi, also by retaliate. But I am sorry, I am Bufraba. Minjin there, Wabobra. I'm praying that higher powers of the realm would give him light to realize what he did, so that at the right time he apologizes.
But not to side entirely with you, how some public officers and politicians also behave when they engage or they encounter our security officers. Sometimes it's not sitting.
Well, I'm not here to be hypothetical or talk about other incidents that I don't know of. Let's limit it to.
So the name is forcing.
Yes, that's the name I saw.
Until after the incident, then I'm paying for no catch.
Well, when in fact situation it was bad. So on my hand, I didn't want to create a scene because the crowd was charged. They were so charged on in the demonstration, and I didn't want them to know. Into police for now so bibi them, so me movie straight na me cop trail a wall no and with the parliament main entrance because na me jahoma on ye so me cop trail and then stay there a moment. Then one national service officer, or also leader open so and then CID for 2 our parliament minimum or embassy so minimum there were in parliament staff police for nibi what from then the deputy marshal also showed up, and then Boama came to ask me the leader we okay na me say look muntumu kraba me pede obi hu, and then Ahiagba pulled through. I think the regional organizer too came, was in the regional chairman, and then Nanabi came. So they took me to the security room. Then the bench, I lay on it, and then
any police person there at that time when you
the CID for 2 no, and then those were the 2, and then they led me welcome the leader young corner call who were men. So Anyagba was leading me, was by my side, was in front of me. The CID from the for 2 no welcome. Then the marshal followed, the deputy marshal. Then I took some deep breath, did some relaxation. But I was asking myself, so the marshal wanted the police officer to be identified because he said Parliament would have to make a report. And see, the way the guy was nowhere to be found. Then I just said that quickly, let me make a formal complaint, send a petition to the IGP. Then I realized that typical of the politics we do, rather when I was protesting his action, some videos were rather being circulated and creating a certain impression. But I would want to urge the gentleman, the look, Manana Sebi Waba policeman, he may have his partisan interests.
But why are you jumping into conclusion that the reaction of the said gentleman was...
No, not reaction, his action.
His action was induced politically.
I'm saying that if...
No, we don't do if.
Well, I'm saying
he's
that
a professional police person.
Well, but I'm
so
saying
the conduct of a police officer is contrary.
Yes, sure.
Then we don't come with inducement.
Yes, sure. So what I'm trying to say in there, his conduct was unbecoming of a police officer.
That one.
However,
based on your account this morning.
Right. However, if he has his own partisan inclinations, he should put that aside. Because broad daylight, a call is made, an invitation is made to the leader of a demonstration. He is entering, and then you use your hand.
Panyai.
I mean, because like I said initially, I see it as a test. Because if you are preaching unity, if you are preaching an end to retaliation, then you yourself, somebody has mistreated you this way. It's a test. Whether a bobonat were there or chiribi party in your power, a better where the power lies, and you forgive and let go. But that's my side.
All right, so that's it. So let's leave it to the police.
Otherwise,
but you avail yourself.
Law-abiding citizen.
Okay.
If the police say, I have petitioned them as a victim, as a complainant, I expect that on the basis of my petition, they would invite me to even elucidate, or they would write to me and say that we have received your petition. They have also issued a statement. After my statement, they also issued a statement and said that they have seen a video that has gone viral. Say, read it to the public so that we can discuss it.
So what was the import of the demonstration anyway?
Well, the import of the demonstration, as you are well aware, was basically...
So a quick one, not to cut you or sign just a minute.
Let the public know
just a minute.
That what was happening.
Police invite Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin to assist investigations into viral demonstration video. The Ghana Police Service has reviewed several video footages on an alleged assault on a police officer by Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin during the just ended demonstration. So the first paragraph is not in tandem with yours because they feel that you assaulted. You're also saying he assaulted. All right?
You read it.
Following the review, the service has written to the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament requesting the release of Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin to assist ongoing investigations into the alleged incident. The officer in question will also be assisting the investigation.
So repeat that one.
The officer in question. Clearly they couldn't.
Wouldn't be able to. I want us to. Wait. Read that again.
The officer in question.
Right.
Will also be assisting the investigation.
Good. So I think the police wanted to be fair in creating this balance. So clearly, Omayen, you are a journalist. If you are doing a deep appreciation of this statement, it tells you that the police itself, the police service itself, if it is being very fair, would have received some information from superior officers who would have told the one who issued the statement that said, let's hold on, our guy did not act right.
So there are contrary opinions.
Exactly. Because otherwise the police will not say the officer involved. You see the word they involved.
In question.
In question, yes. Yeah. the officer in question will also what? Assist
in the investigation.
In the investigation. So he is not a complainant here. They themselves, by the import of this statement, I don't want to read politics.
So they are saying the viral videos
they are
the basis for your invitation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which I think it is not appropriate. However, it would help to...
Once it's not appropriate, it's not appropriate. What kind of viral videos
what
kind of viral videos
you see, sometimes...
no, what kind
the
of
way
videos?
sometimes our public institutions say your politics in Yabutara and Shana Akaye. In the
crossover, bra. Crossover, bra. Call by a bar. Went to a conversation. Adam matters about your conversation. Sabe da muina mase and quickly, Mamefa Winchema, I hope the Ghana Police Service no on bet me I and you may be home made kakana any certain clarities is important. The other if our institutions are, in doubt, but I'm hopeful that this would quickly be another phase and then the needed reprimands that my Juma. Mamenka say, Yene, the minority leader in parliament, and a back to the conversation. So, and demonstration, at the end, I'm a
well, Kememin Kebia Membum, Bibi Kodo, not on ya. One of the tools are Timemfo use on ni Oyetre. Oyetre wayan wasum dream. Anti ansana mak you are no mamenda onwa woyo Oyetre ni nase. Neda they were well composed, no room for violence. Yeah, bibia pepepe time I was share 6 o'clock. Yezido first petition. The police was the only leadership. What by present petition. Demonstrators, what G2 and once Kese Obiana as one kobo cabinet na apart from them a constable force in the year you do Jubilee. A soldier funa police for war no. I mean, I think they conducted themselves well. In fact, at a point, one of the police officers who there, Ochensu Zama, he protested Sinubi, and we all did what we had to do within the confines of the law. Inti mamumbo protesters no abado. Na a police phone so they were generally professional, very cooperative and friendly. And by the way, we didn't give them hard time. We cooperated with them, followed the routes. I was in my hand as already agreed. And I think it went well. Now back to your question. Why the protest? My end, any this if we created 2 Ghana. 1 Ghana under NDC is for only their party members. The other Ghana is for others they see as enemies. And Yeruntum Intena Omenim them. Their first attack was on sacking of government workers. They were employed after the election. Meanwhile, in the equal public service no more. Ye were Ghana for what for when a 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I won our second one. Apart from that, state institutions are oye abankita majority shares. So to the Ghana Gas, Yaba Exim Bank, Yako a Maritime Authority, Ghana Water, Nazoka Kamu. Ye companies are limited liability companies. Abanwo shares, majority shares, or largely owned by the state. However, one source of income is not from the states. So there's no impact on the expenditure of the expenditure on the fiscal space of government. In other words, government does not budget for them. There was will be Abeniska was it to a All these independent state agencies have gone on a sacking spree. That is the first welcome. So far, Abeni is a welcome Ghana for that. A NDC Yasako. That is one. Two, teachers and nurses. The teachers and nurses were critical.
But it was not carried out. So why do you...
They did.
It was not carried out.
Oh, mine, please.
It was not carried out.
Can you...
That said and block these teachers and these nurses, no?
Wait. All the teachers were sacked. Quote me. It was when Harun Idrisu Bey, and I won't that the pressure, the teacher union started, raising. Those who were recruited, go and check. Go and check.
Then they said, the sector minister said.
The sector minister said that 1 year validation. So they started a system of, bring your document, validate, but they sacked all of them. Nurses. Look, in the menu, say, when was it? Saturday? Nurses be ba mention wufi. We school, but one post one. What's honorable? Nurses, nurses platform though.
These are MPP nurses already.
No, not MPP nurses. I mean,
so let's address the issues of concern.
No, I'm giving but that's what I'm telling you. My Antonio Dubia the Musugano.
No, let's address the issue.
So can you allow me to address the issue? Can you allow me to address the issue?
And teachers.
Can you allow me to address the issue?
Of course. But if
so would you allow me to address the issue?
MPP nurses are saying that.
Well, is there anything like MPP
but
nurses?
Your platform is for MPP people.
No, not my platform. See, you won't listen well.
So which platform?
I'll protest by being quiet.
Okay,
thank you. Nurses are what I mentioned over the weekend. Look, honorable. Young platform, nurses, your platform do. And Crawford no wonder what to Abama and this. No, Miss Abbas into us. My brother no recruitment, or Kodunka Kankra. Says your man, you would son so many years of backlog. I wonder what Bama backlog and no that's away. But then I say, no, well, it's over until 2028. Why is it that nurses who have been recruited, why is it that nurses are when your clearance are will be recruited one was suspended? So NDC unemployment instead of employment. One but they will be creating more jobs. So they came to add on to the unemployment situation. By the way, first 120 days was the achievement in employment. They have rather sent people home, created more unemployment. That is their record for first 120 days. Yanko military, first service chiefs, were you one easy, plus other 15 soldier paying. What you were appointing new service chiefs, then 2-star generals are. What you want to do, a state in a training 1 hour away, I want to become the next set of victims. I want so when you CDS, his next line of action there, Munina Munkufi. So to clear all of them, all those who were promoted as generals under MPP Nina Munkotinifi. Yan for Nuntunchen. Shaza Osi Watamale. Now ministers go on field visit and sack chief executive. Tamale teaching hospital chief executive. So was sack. Eba bonnoye. So under NDC, it is either you succumb or we deal with you. That is their strategy. Threat. Ironpo as MPs. Share recently how they treated Honorable John Intim Fojo. Say you ambira. No want to be a knife ekogunifi. Waba arrested. Look at what they did to Dr. Addison, former governor. Wakunifi waka ransack nifi was sikana wahe. Later no wait to and you see, I want to urge my friends in NDC. There's always a limit to propaganda. The twists in between. There be some banana watch baby. There's an end. Says you more honeymoon. More honeymoon. Then I say I'm moving. My dream one day 4 years Onyambe we've already crossed 5 months. Yeah, crossed the 5 months. Majority of the youth now, you've not been able to find jobs for them.
Ejumera.
Now, Omahin.
Ejumera. Don't overlook that. Ejumera.
Omahin. Do you know one sad thing?
Don't overlook that.
Do you know one sad thing?
Me too.
In my some cry a hopa. 24-hour economy na warankasa menyu betra hana. You thought there. Wo bibi EUC abato.
Yeah,
ADS if you dem me
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's under the watch of Gusitando. So what's your problem?
Please, when the president came to parliament to share with us a message on the state of the nation, Sona, President Kacha and there, 24-hour economy, it will be contained in the budget in Tonka answer. Then Dr. Ato Forson also came, finance minister. The budget. 24-hour economy also a tree no was baba. The budget statement of any nation captures the priorities of a government. How come the 24-hour economy policy now, Awankasa is a baby create Juma. In your first year, there's no space for it. 24-hour economy, no. Simply put, you want to create jobs in the private sector. What's the 133, right?
Correct.
1 job, 3 shifts. So where is the 1 job, 3 shifts? Even their ministers, their appointees, when they came for vetting, Omayin, inyami ne mise o, meka a futu fanti, inyami ne mise. Ibi sa one about one manifesto. P what's the one here then? Tuyaduma, you watch the vetting. Tuyadu, how many appointees were able to answer questions from their manifesto? A lot of them. They were bold to say that I have not read it. So even they, the appointees, and I'm not sure of the understanding of the direction of the government and the policies guiding their various ministries, because this government has not come out with a clear policy direction in the area of social services. What is the policy? Education. What is the policy? What is your financial policy as a nation? The trade ministry. What is the trade minister's policy to activate the private sector? What is the policy there?
Maybe you don't know. Or you are suggesting that they don't know what they are doing.
Am I not supposed to know? Isn't it part of the bona fides?
Of course.
Of governance?
Of course.
Is it not in their interest to put it out? You know, around this time, we as the people of Ghana should have handy the policy direction in the economy. What is the policy on security? Okay? On defense matters, what is the policy? When it comes to water and sanitation, what is the policy? It's a TUC, it's a Wonka. This is not MPP speaking. During the May Day celebration, organized labor boldly made 2 profound statements. One, Galamsey. And you realize that the NDC did everything to suppress what organized labor has said. Organized labor boldly said Galamsey has worsened under NDC's 5 months in office. True or false?
That's what they said.
No. I'm saying true or false. Did they say it or not?
It was said.
Do you know that organized labor has its own research machinery? When I became an MP, interactions with them, I realized that TUC Fono, they have a solid research machinery. They have experts. Some of our mates at Kivas, Wofi, school, we train one PhD, MPhil, no go on research department. So they are not just labor union now. Before TUC or before organized labor will come out with a statement, now one can say why you know, and they know that what they are going to say is founded on facts. Organized labor on May Day publicly reprimanded the government and said that the Galamsey menace has worsened just within the short period they came into office. And if the NDC is in self-denial, with time, they will be exposed. 2, organized labor also complained about the attack on the Chief Justice and cautioned government to hasten slowly Because Zawo Yenu undermines the democracy. By the way, Omahin, President Mahama, I think that though Yena were in different parties, but Asembiso wa Eka on Sehre, he is generally seen as a moderate, true or false. He is generally seen as a moderate. And I am saying that this government is not under his control. This government is being controlled by the hawks of NDC, the extremists. That is a reality.
No, but extremists
because you see,
there's one person
you see,
in the charge.
that person is no, I don't think they have ushered him into his lame dark days rather too early.
How is this possible?
No, listen, Omani, mark this day. Today is what, 6th May?
That's correct.
Mark this day. This government has entered into its lame dark days because they allowed the hawks to dictate the direction rather too early. And this would have its own overflow into the leadership contest, the succession plan. Because you see, right now, have you seen it? I said, Dunkatia on the part for the succession being started moving or move no so a candidate. Yet,
that should
other
not
people.
Be our concern.
No.
It's the party's concern.
No, it's a party because it will let the government lose focus. Listen, an effective government is a government that the president is in control. And when a government is effective, it benefits the people. A government in lame dark days, things go haywire. And I'm saying, and what I'm saying is not only me, but all political watchers, including you, Omahin, no, for a fact that this government has entered into its lame dark days rather too early because the hawks are now in charge. It is what the hawks say. And you know their justification, our base, our base, our base, our base. If you are a political leader in Ghana today, and you think that you should always follow the base and charge them, one day, Omanan Obaji won't say. Why? Were we not in this country when the same people told Rawlings that let the blood flow? After 24 hours, the same people said, we kumnyimpa ana. Rawlings, you know, sorry, in the ABA, oh yeah. But because the people called for it. I am saying that if you are a politician and your people are calling for blood, your duty is to explain matters to them and keep them calm and let them know that governance is not about I do you, you do me. The vicious cycle, which is taking the center stage of this government, must cease. It's not helping the economy. Look, do you know why the cedi is stable? No, I want you to understand. Do you know why the cedi is stable? The cedi is stable not because Dr. Forson at the finance ministry is doing anything special. It's because government is not spending. It's because contractors are not being paid. It's because there's no liquid in the circulating in the economy. I'm not an economist, but this is basic economics. I've been talking to businessmen. A lot of certificates have not been paid since government came into office. Not one. Mainstream government, finance ministry hasn't paid a single soul. What they have been paying, releasing his monies for Jubilee House, fuel for president's car, chief of staff ne car, and a party for walk one up and down. Ebia sikebia himfuba visitor ebia what by a protocol releases, and then maybe other ministries current one expenditure bia will release. But sikankasa abambe release to pay private sector entities who have worked for government has not paid. And I'm saying that in itself has its own effect on the economy. Two, when you create ugly noises in your country, investors run away from you.
Noises being ugly.
One, if you're always creating an impression that you are a hardline government ruling with an iron fist, nobody is comfortable to come into your country. We shouldn't trivialize this. But this attack on the judiciary,
Attack.
This attack on the judiciary
Attack.
is not good for our country. Yes, please go. So ask me why. Why do I say it's an attack?
Attack. It's very unfair.
Okay. So how should I put it?
No, but a revered profession you find yourself in.
You are saying there is an attack on the judiciary.
How?
And I'll explain to you. Have you seen the petitions? Yes, you have.
I have.
You have seen it?
I have not.
Okay, if you've not seen, then let me tell you. A petition.
Classified in the
They, the NDC themselves, and I was talking to David Tamaklo. He's my friend, but sometimes he gives me low blows. And I was saying that he did the headline of the year. I will give him the headline of the year. CJ, going. That's what he published the last time when they were about to suspend the CJ. Over the Easter holidays, we knew there was Easter break. The NDC people started posting the petitions. Now what CJ going?
The real one, and I say
the real one. Whatever they published, what they published.
But this is classified.
So, so they released it. They themselves leaked it to their party boys. The ones that you've been reading on the NDC.
But is that what pages. You do?
Well, no, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about NDC.
But is that what politicians do?
No.
When you tell us that it's classified information, then it gets out there.
Can we have a smooth conversation?
No, I disregard all those things because...
Can we have a smooth conversation? You are trying to distract my thoughts. Jay Damazen. Jay.
I have a difficulty.
Well, are you a neutral
I cannot be neutral.
Person here?
I cannot be neutral.
So you're on their side?
I'm saying that I ask relevant questions.
Can you allow, if you ask your question, can you allow me to answer your question?
That's correct.
What is this?
That's no problem. That's no problem. To which my proceed.
So, one person will release it. Petition ma one part so.
E pese bia be ya asomdwe mu. Na be bia ye bokọ. Na yetimi asi.
County de osika no wendi ni nyina mpo. Or spend a crazy, northern canning then back to chess. There's a memo
to that effect
with stamp dates way back. Now, or ye for a yawa on te wuno correct in Bojatmasa or boy a foot imperi jubana. Say what some ye don't pa won't take. That is one. Two months of papano, mamino, on yinu kun teo. Or mind stop touching your phone because this is for about the country. Mose mamino. Onyinu kun na neba nwe to kwan on official trip and the cost borne by the states. On my hand. The three co-equal arms of government, don't they enjoy some privileges of office? So, on my hand, true, let's ask a question. Is the office of the First Lady a creature of the Constitution? Does the Constitution say that when the First Lady is traveling, the state should bear the cost? Does the Constitution say that when the president is traveling with his family, the state, the president should pay from his own pocket for his children and his wife? Our presidents, since 92, travel with their family. Speaker of Parliament, our speakers, have those privileges. Now, in the case of the executive, there is no even enacted policy guiding how the president and his immediate family travel. In the case of Parliament, there is no enacted policy that spells out certain protocols, but it is assumed to be one of the bona fides that exists. However, in the judiciary, they have rather enacted a policy. So the woman went by the policy. Policy no yana na bredo. And the policy in why policy way back in 2010, and it was later reviewed. Since she assumed office, she has not. Her administration has not reviewed that policy. Okay? Why would anybody use this to attack her?
And to what's your belief that our revered Council of State, they don't know their left from their right? Is that what you want to say? That an MDF for no, any Abin for no, Adom, your Council of State, I almost say there is an establishment of a prima facie, so they should proceed with the investigation or whatever. They don't know what they're about.
Well, those are your words. My words would be that the Council of State has failed our democracy. My words.
You are suggesting they don't know their work.
Those are your words. My words.
Inference.
My words. No. My words are that the Council of States of this republic has failed our democracy.
Why?
They have failed our democracy.
Why? Why?
I've just told you.
But if you raise these issues, and in their opinion, they feel that you may be to see one more. Why do you have a challenge with it?
Emizi, Masha said America the mass in Mokoda Maka. Yenyanum judges are. NDC for make promises to them. One K Ochina.
When you that as a fact.
Oh, Omayin. You
are the minority leader.
Omayin.
You are a lawyer. You are signing.
No, Omayin. Mr.
Oyasam politics, tradition,
Omayin.
and academic.
Mr. Oyasamka.
So,
Omayin make a fancy. Omayin Mfanti kasa na America mpocho. Missy.
Why there will be a promise?
Missy.
So there's a criteria to get there.
Omayin. So be promise so be. Tell yet awu Dominic. And onye Ampedu. We are very close. Okay. So obi pedo nyaw owo mahin na wabo ka champion do look and do mahin ombazo nta wo me be the mazi so me did Badwam na wa ko Dominic wa hu o mahin ni su ben bi oyi o da no pompo an se so bo nche ombazo o nche
enemy be we
no I'm saying that let's watch the space. The judiciary must be seen to be united in this. JUSAC, Association of Magistrates and Judges. One would there, or you touch one, touch all. One would there, the attack on their mother is an attack on all of them. And Omayin, this issue of this Obiaye, Musumaye, vicious cycle, when would it end? No, me bisa. No. Omayi, no government can ever be perfect. It is always the case there, Abembi Ba, or Wasembi Kafa, Obi Hum, Bojat Mase, Obi, injustice be meted out against somebody. People always have the complaint. My question is that, can't we have a system in place to create a room to reconcile and tame some of these things?
You are in opposition, so you are talking.
Oh, but Omayin,
why
you always refer me.
Why didn't you have?
You know the work I did.
Of course.
Omayin,
completely.
You know.
100%.
You know how. Thank you. So
work.
I can't mention names.
But why didn't your party set up that machine?
Omayin,
why didn't you
Bibi
do that?
Ntina baby fiabem. Bibi Suntina baby ba. I'm saying that let's not be repeating some of the negatives that have affected our democracy since 1992.
It's a reset.
That is all my.
It's a resetting mood we find ourselves.
But the resetting is rather negative. The resetting should reconcile. The resetting should bring everybody on board. Why? The letter I received from the office of the president that as minority leader I'm being invited to Kwewu. The reason why I accepted that invitation was because I thought it was going to create a new reset for the private sector. That is why I attended. That is why I went there to share my experience. But after Kwewu, are we doing things? Yeri yanzeme bia oba magana fu nyehu de no korinyi yanko Kwewu keke we enyuado. Then mum yakko Kwewu de we are setting a new stage for the private sector. Look, today in today's Ghana, Ghanaian businesses feel more unsafe than foreign-owned businesses. I've been talking to the businessmen. I'm saying, Omayin, I've been talking to businessmen.
Those references
Omayin, I'm not alleging.
Listen, saying that. Ghana Fuankasa Omoye Juma across all administrations. They've been very uncomfortable with the way we treat Ghanaian businesses and businessmen.
Which is a fact, but I'm not saying this the first time here.
Correct.
No, this is
But
not the first time I'm saying this on your platform.
So let's not paint that picture in our recent bid to ensure that all these are done well.
That is why, sometimes I'm torn in between. When you want to raise national issues, okay?
But you raise and the import is as if, it should be,
But they should make the effort. We are not in government because we did not meet
that criteria.
All the expectations of the ordinary Ghanaian.
All
right. They set a new agenda which Ghanaians bought into it, and they are in office. In office, your first 120 days. If I should mark NDC administration first 120 days, do you know the marks I will give them?
How?
Less than 20%.
Over 100.
I will give them less than 20% because I'm a private sector operator. My criteria for marking, 50% of it will be based on
private sector.
The private sector promise, which was 24-hour economy. It's zero. On 24-hour economy, I'm on 0 out of 50. Because the 100%, I will divide it into 2.
Because the impact of 24 was great for the private sector.
Because employment, look, as a government, where Juma are employment, Aben Biaraba to give opportunity for private sector. I don't want people to feel comfortable buying treasury bill, buying fixed deposits, and investing in bonds. I think that a government should make investing in these instruments unattractive. Not by reducing the returns on investment, but by creating a certain private sector policy that would attract people to rather use their business money to invest in business to create jobs. What about in the cancel 1D, 1F? In its place, what is the policy? You see, Omayan, I won't come here and talk because I am an opposition leader in parliament. But I'm telling you that in Zamabia, Abeniria, on boy economy, maybe they are in their honeymoon stage, but it will come back and hit them. Do you know that they have cancelled the 1D, 1F? And they have not introduced an alternative policy. Invite the trade minister, my respected colleague, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ajari. Ask her. Go to the trade minister or ministry or write to the trade ministry and ask them, what is the alternative policy they have introduced for the private sector? Under this government, no business is given any incentive. There's no inducement to do your own business. Because the 24-hour economy policy has not been rolled out. What is Guzitano doing? I respect him as an entrepreneur, successful businessman and a politician. But ask yourself, is it now that they are enacting the policy? When they were making all the campaign slogan, 24-hour economy, 133, 1 job, 3 shifts, didn't they know? Where were the advisors? What systems did they put in place? Were they just telling us to mislead us? Were they just lying to us? Or they meant business? 5 months into your administration, your flagship policy, Mpocho, did Akufo-Addo defer the free SHS policy? Did he? Akufo-Addo did not. It did not. And this government has failed the ordinary youth. It is not creating jobs in the public sector that would change the economy. No. What they are doing now, was sack young Nkrofona was one about war employing one who they claim are MPP. Then they bring their party members. All their regional communication officers, their constituency officers are being placed in state institutions. It's not the solution. It is one thing that we have practiced in the past as a government. Create a bureaucracy to employ. It will choke. Look, during the transition, one of them privately was sincere to me. He said, I can't quote him and I'm not quoting him by mentioning his name. He said, look, leader, I used to think that Oforiatta did not help the government, the country. But with what I've seen, I will eat a humble pie, but I can't go public. I said, what? I said, look, I was on the transition. I realized that a lot of the bonds, Sika, Obe, and Azeno, ended up being used to pay public sector workers. They are having the same problem. Almost all the revenue that they get, Urban, is paying public sector workers. That is one mistake they are making. Don't let us focus on the private sector, on the public sector jobs that we create through bureaucracy. Let us focus on the private sector, and that is why Nanadu introduced a 1D 1F to encourage the private sector. And what did they do? They played politics with it.
Achievement of 1D 1F.
When we started, no, don't say that. If the businessman did not take advantage, that is different. But don't say that government giving you the tax incentives to establish your business did not help you. You work with an avatar.
Yeah.
If government under 1D 1F said that equipment, machinery you were bringing in, you are not going to pay tax on it. Things that you buy for your business, you won't pay tax on it. Now you take advantage and you don't use it. Has the government done anything wrong? I'm saying that the policy is one thing, implementation is another. I want us to sit down. Look, Ato Forsen sit here. Mark Esebe Yeboah sit there. Ama Kofi Boah sit. Adom Press sit here. Patricia PJ, Afenyo Markin, Mahama Yariga. Political class, let's sit down. MPP, NDC, let's sit down. We identify the critical issues and then agree that this is a national issue. Let's not do party matter with it. It is a policy that we must rally around, private sector policy to create jobs. Until we do that, it will be a vicious cycle.
Okay, leader, so maybe some other time, but let's get into your party bits and then we'll wrap up our conversation. Megidi say, you're on the thank you tour. Is it still on?
Yes, that was the party's decision.
Is it still on?
I said, yes, that was the party decision.
I'm not asking you whose decision it was. Is it still on?
Wait. You ask. You are on a thank you tour.
Yeah.
Is it on?
Yeah.
I said, yes. That was a party decision where I was part.
And what was going into that thank you tour? What was the design?
Am I in? You want to now come and put my party on the front burner?
You are subjecting government of the day to a certain expectation.
Yes.
You have a challenge, a potential government in waiting.
Yes.
Who are challenging? Say,
look, you see, when you are doing your agenda, you what's that? What are you going to do?
Are we done with the thank you tour?
We have unemployment situation out there. We shouldn't discuss it.
But we have a potential government in waiting.
I agree.
More lapses in the system.
When a party is in opposition, early days, you should expect 1-2-1-2. But generally, it's been good. And that, a demonstration, I saw.
Super.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Oh.
It doesn't change the conversation.
I saw a lot.
It doesn't change.
Did you see the numbers?
Super.
Did you see the numbers?
Admitted. Super.
Did you see the numbers?
I was not even expecting these numbers. Super. Fantastic. It doesn't change the conversation. This is a government in.
I don't discuss my party issues in public.
But as a stakeholder of that party, that is a potential government.
We will debate party issues indoors, in-house, in camera.
So you are admitting that the party.
I have not admitted. I said
the center is not holding.
The center has always been
focus
holding.
and discipline.
Why are you so interested in MPP matters?
Because it's a potential government in waiting.
Yes.
That was like the end.
That's not the impression you are creating. That's not the impression you are creating.
You have sat here.
But why didn't you, when we were talking about Asedu Nketia rendering this government a lame duck government, you didn't talk about it. He is going. Asedun Katia is campaigning to succeed Mahama.
Abba, leader.
Yes, but you know.
I don't.
Who?
I don't believe in speculations. I've heard your name come up for.
Hey, Abahin, stop. Hey, Abahin, stop. You made my name come.
I see.
You made my name come up for
But the echoes from Mpensenpensenmu say the state.
We need a stable government.
Okay.
I know.
We need a stable opposition.
I know this.
We need
This
a more
government has 4 years.
opposition, a more
I know that
opposition.
2028, Nyankopon Yadoma, we would make it. What I don't want is an early day lame duck government.
Okay.
That is what we see. This government is not in control.
But if you have write-ups like Okwe spends 6 million Ghana cedi to prove 38.2, the hawk is false, it's 41, please stop this. And if you have Ken gone, peace returns, MPP tore back on track, says Akomia.
So if today we should be talking about publications, because we'll be at Trobi into Yankawanza.
Is that what? Now publications are difficult.
No, but so why are you?
Quotations from,
you are not interested in good governance. If you are, you would be questioning why the Hawks in NDC have rendered the government a lame duck government.
Critical issues about terminations and revocations.
You are not interested.
I'm not challenging you on that.
When the government, did you hear Asedun Katia talking about people jostling for the leadership of NDC? He said this in March. You heard him.
So what is the state?
I'm asking.
What is the state of your party?
Membiso, did you hear him?
What is the state of your party?
Did you hear him?
Of your party now?
You heard the national chairman of NDC complaining about people chasing for the presidential slot.
Even in opposition, your people are chasing. And your name has popped up.
I am saying, stop your agenda. Omahin, stop your agenda. Stop your agenda. Stop your agenda.
Brian Echampo,
Omahin, stop your agenda.
Omahin,
stop your agenda.
Honorable Kennedy Japan.
Omahin, stop your agenda.
All these names are flying.
Omahin, stop your agenda.
How much more?
So they are the problem because they are having government.
Okay.
And if you have a government and you are not stable, the masses suffer. That is my problem.
If you have an opposition that is not focused and stable, checkmating the president, the government.
Oh, are we not checkmating?
Yeah.
Are we not checkmating?
But you destabilize yourself.
Who is destabilized?
MPP.
Omahin, are you saying, Omahin, if we were that destabilized,
MPP?
Omahin, if we are that, as you are describing now, would we have been able to successfully put together that massive show yesterday? Omahin, answer my question.
I'm watching. When are we expressing it again?
Next year, Nyame Adoma. Says Yaka Akumasi.
Akumasi.
Yeah, but on is on a low way. Nada a P2, other affection Katibi. But the main abattoir, yeah, again next year.
So why the title of Sahini?
On your Sahin or Sahin.
Or Sahin.
Enjoy.
Yeah, why that title?
It's warrior. Yeah, chief warrior for the two Asafo groups. Oh, was he a Amanzima Omano?
Do you work in tandem with game and wildlife?
Where do you want to get to? You want our Yesanti? Asante, a question, Asanta Mamre. Mama, if you do, I am for Obaso Odo.
I rest my case.
Can you withdraw?
It's withdrawn.
I see. Oh, sir. The culture you want to attack, the culture of Ifutu. You want to attack our heritage?
Afenyo Markin, minority leader, Ghana's parliament. Always a pleasure to be talking to you.
No. Young so producer, don't take us off. Omahin waka for Samaba.
Thank you so much.